We just talked about fats, and that per gram of fat there are 9 calories, and it's twice as dense in calories as protein and carbohydrate, but it leaves you more satiated, and you need fats. You definitely need fats. You need to ingest them, and you even need to carry on your body a certain amount of fat. I call it essential fat. When we're trying to lose body fat, we have excess fat, we have reserve fat, and we have essential fat. So that excess fat is that first layer fat that we want to get rid of. It's the one that we look in the mirror, we don't feel like we look good in our clothes. Yes, that's the right way to put it. Excess fat is the fat that does not allow us to feel good, look good in our clothes, at least for most reasonable people. So it's got to go. It's unhealthy, it's unsightly, it's hard on the skeletal structure. It's got to go. And Shibboleth will help you do that if that's what you want to do, because after 2 perfect days, we get in efficient fat burning mode and we're getting rid of the excess fat. Then once we get to a place where the excess fat is gone, and by the way, you can determine this with a Shibboleth assessment in your journal. Once we get rid of the excess fat, now we're into the reserve fat. We still don't have to worry about any so-called starvation mode. I wish that was a myth that never had gotten out into the culture, because it causes me as a coach a lot of grief. I'm going to starve to death eating so little. Well, look around, y'all. Eating so little ain't our problem. It's eating too much. We need to have that problem of eating too little. But we're not in starvation mode, because you've got excess fat that's got to go, and then we get into the reserve fat. Now, when we get rid of most of our reserve fat, that's when we go to looking good naked, N-E-double-K-E-D. How many of you want to look good naked? Raise your hand. If you'll lie about that, you'll lie about other things too. So you get rid of that, and you still are not in danger of going into any type of starvation mode when you've got excess and reserve fat. And then we get into that essential fat. That's when you start hearing that term starvation mode, and it's applicable here, because you need to carry a certain amount of fat. Your essential fat is what carries the vitamins, the minerals that your body needs to function in reserve capacity. So you've got to have a certain amount of fat, or you will become malnourished, and you will start slowing down your metabolic rate so that you can survive. In fact, when you get rid of excess and reserve fat, that's when we start worrying, and we need to start increasing those calories, increasing that protein, so that your body doesn't think that it's starving. But we don't need to worry about that right now. Remember, hey, if you ever think if you've got excess fat and you feel like you're starving to death, get naked, N-E-double-K-E-D, and go look in the mirror and jump up and down. If you've got too much jiggling and itching, then you are not starving to death. I promise you that. I'll be back to unpack more about fats in the next lesson.